So this is episode 2 of this FIFA 14 rebuild with Manchester United, and before I get into the video, I just want to say thank you so much for all of the views that I've been getting on that last video. It is astonishing how many people have actually watched parts of the video. Thank you for the comments, thank you for the likes that I've got on it as well. It's a lot more than I expected. If you're back for episode 2 and you haven't subscribed, then please do. But let's get into our first season in episode 2, which is season 5. So in the 17-18 season, the biggest transfer leaving the club was Henrik Mkhitaryan. After one season, again, a Manchester United player leaves. He went to Arsenal for 34 million. And the most expensive player coming in was Everton's Romelu Lukaku, just under 85 million. Along with Lukaku came Nemanja Matic from Chelsea, Victor Lindelof from Benfica, and Alexis Sanchez from Arsenal. And the first player we're bringing in this season is 26-year-old Kevin De Bruyne, 86 rated midfielder. He is going to be battling for his place alongside Shinji Kagawa and Paul Pogba. 22 million he set us back, but he joins the Manchester United squad. Now with Nani being injured and also 30 years old, we need a left midfielder slash left winger that can join this squad. And that's going to be none other than 24-year-old Stefan El Shaarawy from AC Milan. 86 rated. He's cost us 16 million plus Nani. He is our second signing of season 5. So with the spare money we've got, we're going for a few backup players. We've got a small squad at the moment due to contracts ending. So the first player we're going to pick up is a right back from Spurs by the name of Kyle Walker, coming in for £5 million. And another backup comes into the squad, this time in a goalkeeper named Marc-Andre ter Stegen from Borussia Mönchengladbach. He's cost us £9 million, 25 years of age. He's going to be second choice to David De Gea. Now in the 17-18 season, Manchester United, they got knocked out in the last 16 against Sevilla. They finished second in the Premier League with Jose Mourinho in charge. They lost 1-0 in the final to Chelsea in the FA Cup. And they lost to Bristol City in the Carabao Cup in the quarter-finals. And that's another Premier League title in the bag for Manchester United. That is our 4th in 5 seasons. 94 points on the board, 17 goals conceded throughout 38 games. What a record that is. We lose to West Brom in the round of 16 of the FA Cup. In the Capital One Cup, we lose to the winners, Tottenham Hotspur, in the quarter-finals. We win the Super Cup, which is Champions League winners versus Europa League winners. We beat Wolfsburg 3-0 in that one. And we lose in the round of 16s of the Champions League this year to Marseille. So just the 2 trophies this season. Let's head into season 6. The 18-19 saw the arrival of 2 main players. Fred from Shakhtar Donetsk for 59 million and Diogo Dalot from Porto for 22 million. And leaving the club saw Daley Blind to Ajax for 16 million, Marouane Fellaini for 7.2 million and Sam Johnston going to West Brom for 7.35 million. Now with the team looking like it is, there's a few positions that I might need a few backups on. Of course we got David Alaba in the left back position, but behind him we've only got Alexander Butner. So maybe a new second choice left back needs to come into the squad. But apart from that, there's not really anyone else that we can bring in. Kyle Walker obviously came in last season, only 79 rated. He is 28, but we'll keep him for a couple more seasons, probably till the end now. Johnny Evans and Chris Smalling are our centre-back options, with Martial at an 84 rating, Wilfried Zaha up to an 82. That's our attacking options sorted. And of course, Kevin De Bruyne being in that midfield position. So as a backup left back, we're bringing in Benjamin Mendy from Marseille, 24 years old. He's not going to the blue side of Manchester like he did in real life. He's coming to the red side. So in the 18-19 season, Manchester United lost in the 3rd round of the EFL Cup to Derby 10-9 on penalties. They lost to Wolves 2-1 in the 6th round of the FA Cup, and they lost 4-0 in the quarter-finals to Barcelona in the Champions League, whilst finishing 6th in the Premier League under new manager Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So can we at least get 1 trophy this season? And for the first time in this rebuild, we are Centurions. We have won the Premier League again. 102 points, 33 wins, 3 draws, 2 losses throughout the season. That is now 5 Premier Leagues in 6 seasons. Have we won any more trophies this season? Community Shield, that's a double. We don't win the FA Cup, we lose to Reading in the round of 16. In the Capital One Cup, We don't win that one either. We're not actually in the round of 16 of those ones, so we got knocked out early on. But we do make a Champions League final. This time, a recreation of the 07-08 season. Man United's last Champions League win in real life. We have Chelsea in the final. Can we win our second Champions League of this rebuild? So we got no El Shaarawy for this final because he is suspended. So Zaha is starting on that left-hand side. And De Bruyne picks up an early yellow. With Schürrle picking up an early injury for Chelsea here as we reach half an hour. Still 0-0 in this cup final, this Champions League final. And it's 0-0 at half time. Hazard comes on for Schürrle. Martial comes on for Lewandowski. It's still 0-0, but David Alaba puts us 1-0 up. And unlike the goal scorer for Man United, Icardi pulls one back at 1-0. And we're into extra time here now. 105 minutes, half time is done. It looks like it's going to go to penalties. No! Josh McEachran comes on for Chelsea and scores the winner. We lose our second Champions League final of this rebuild. 2-1 to Chelsea. So just 2 trophies this season in Season 6. Let's move on to Season 7 and see if we can pick up any more. The 1920 season saw Romelu Lukaku leave to Inter for 74 million. Chris Smalling initially went on loan to AS Roma before signing permanently. Matteo Darmian went to Parma. Coming into the club saw Aaron Wan-Bissaka from Crystal Palace for 55 million. Bruno Fernandes from Sporting for 65 million. And the most expensive being Harry Maguire from Leicester City. 87 million euros Manchester United spent on him. So looking at the starting 11, Marquinhos we're going to move to right back. He's still only 25. We're going to swap him in for Phil Jones, who is now 27, which means that we need a centre back. At the moment we've got Johnny Evans there, 81 rated, but I think we can do better. So let's bring a central defender into this starting 11. Now I was looking at centre backs and I saw this guy, Kurt Zouma, 24 years of age, from Saint Etienne, that costs about 7 million. Another French centre back that costs around 7 million as well, Samuel Umtiti from Lyon. Well, there's 25-year-old German named Matthias Ginter. But I've changed my mind. I'm still going to pick up one of these centre-backs, but I'm also going to go in for a new right-back so Marquinhos can keep his centre-back position. And that right-back's going to be Mattia De Sciglio, 84 rated, 26-year-old from AC Milan. And the centre-back we went for is Samuel Umtiti from Lyon, costing us only 7.5 million. He is our new backup centre-back, and we've still got 23 million to spare, so we might bring in another backup player for the bench. And that backup player is going to be Jack Grealish from Aston Villa, 23 years old. He's cost us 10 million. But he is joining the Manchester United squad and not going to the blue side of City. So Man United actually finished 3rd in the Premier League this season under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. They reached the semi-finals where they lost to Sevilla in the Europa League. In the FA Cup they lost 3-1 to Chelsea in the semi-finals, and they lost again in the semi-finals to Man City in the EFL Cup, 3-2 on aggregate. So we've reached the end of this season and we've only just won the Premier League. 88 points, same as Chelsea, but beat them by 20 goal difference. That's 6 out of 7 Premier League titles we've won. We lost 5-4 on penalties in the Community Shield to Chelsea. We finally win an FA Cup, our first of this rebuild. It took us 7 seasons, but we have beaten Arsenal 2-0 in the final. That's a new trophy to add to our cabinet. And it is a domestic treble, our first of the rebuild as well. We beat the rival City 1-0 in the final. 3 out of a possible 4 trophies so far this season. Can we make it 4 out of 5 with the Champions League? We do not. We get stuffed in the quarterfinals by Bayern Munich 5-0. Who go on to face Inter Milan in the final. But a domestic treble for us this season. Let's go on to Season 8. The 2020-2021 season didn't see many players leave. Chris Smalling saw himself go into AS Roma for 15 million after his loan deal from the season before. Coming into the side saw Donny van de Beek from Ajax for 39 million and Amad Diallo for 21.3 million. Edison Cavani also joins United on a free transfer from PSG. So with the team looking like it is, Ter Stegen on an 89 now, cementing his place as the #1 goalkeeper. De Sciglio, Varane, Marquinhos, David Alaba, all 84 plus. Our midfield being 86 plus with Di Maria as 87. He is now 32 years old. He might start dropping in rating, but we have got a young Jack Grealish on the bench. De Bruyne 87, Kagawa now 31 as well at an 86, and El Shaarawy on the 89. with Neymar at 90 and Martial at an 88. This season, this squad doesn't really need any first team players. I might bring in a backup centre mid for Kagawa. We have obviously got Pogba on the bench, who is 84 rated and only 27. And maybe find a higher rated, younger right midfielder for Di Maria for the last few seasons. There's no big names that we really need to sign. So let's get a couple backups for the rest of the squad and the last few seasons, mainly in the right mid and central midfielder positions. And the centre mid joining the squad is Marco Verratti, the Italian from PSG, 87 rated. We have used Shinji Kagawa in this deal. He's only just going to drop in rating. So we brought in the 27-year-old. He is our new signing of Season 8. And the backup right midfielder is going to be Arsenal's Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, 27 years of age, 84 rated, coming in for 20 million. He is our second and last signing of Season 8. So in the 2021 season, Man United lost again in the semi-finals of the EFL Cup, again to Manchester City 2-0. They lost in the quarter-finals of the FA Cup to Leicester City 3-1. They did reach the final of the Europa League where they lost 12-11 on penalties to Villarreal. David De Gea missing the penalty to keep it going in sudden death. But that was after they got knocked out of the group stage of the Champions League. Besiktas, PSG and Leipzig. However, they did finish second in the Premier League, getting Champions League football the year after. That is now 7 out of 8 Premier League titles for Manchester United in this FIFA 14 rebuild. We keep hold of the trophy again, but have we won any more? And have we reached the Champions League final this season? We battered Chelsea in the Community Shield 4-0. Can we get the treble with the FA Cup? We can. We beat Spurs 5-4 on penalties in the final. That is 3 out of 3 possible trophies so far this season. Can we do a quadruple and win the EFL Cup? The answer is no. We get knocked out by Bolton on penalties in the round of 16, but we're still on for a quadruple if we have reached the Champions League final. And we do reach the Champions League final. We are facing Bayern, our 3rd Champions League final of this rebuild. We've won one, we lost to Chelsea in the other. Is this year going to be our year? We've beat both Barca and Real Madrid, but can we beat Bayern to get our 2nd Champions League? Martial must have left the squad. Looks like he has. Zaha and Oxlade-Chamberlain both on the bench there. No Anthony Martial. He must have gone in January. But either way, we've still got an 86 rated Lewandowski. But let's get into this Champions League final. Let's hopefully win the 2nd of this rebuild. Home advantage for Bayern Munich in the Allianz Arena. All lit up in red for Bayern Munich. But will the Reds of Manchester United be lifting that trophy there at the end of this game? Headed away by Varane, picked up in the middle. It's Thiago, skips past De Bruyne, can't skip past Marquinhos. Verratti finds space to get the ball forward. So we work it down towards the left-hand side here, where Lewandowski's making a run. But Jerome Boateng picks it off. Throw into Bayern. They've kept the ball well for this first 11 minutes. So burst forward, throw in by Muller. Thiago on this right hand side. They've gone to clear it and he's just wiped Thiago out. I think that's Marquinhos. It is, and I think he's going to pick up the first yellow of the game. That's good. There's one back nice and high. It's Neymar. Can he put us in the lead? No, he can't. What a save. I think Neuer in goal. What a save that is to keep Bayern Munich at 0-0. Oh, Ter Stegen with the block. Not really sure what happened there. Defensively, it just... Bayern split the open quite easily. Instead of taking on the shot, I think it was Jovetic. Well, it is 0-0 at half-time. It's mostly been Bayern Munich. We've had that big chance with Neymar. They've had a big chance with Thomas Muller, I believe it was. But both goalkeepers have stood strong and kept it at 0-0. Even just looking at the stats, look, 2 shots. Thomas Muller in the 43rd, Neymar in the 33rd. That's a great ball by Marco Verratti, who does find Di Maria. He does cut onto his left foot. It's Di Maria with his left foot. It's tipped over by the goalkeeper. El Shaarawy on the corner, whipped in towards the penalty spot. There's Marquinhos, I think, or Varane with the header. But it's easy, and it's Simon Mignolet in goal for Bayern Munich. Not the goalkeeper I would have expected to be playing at the Allianz Arena in the Champions League final. El Shaarawy finds Alaba, who looks to cross it in towards Neymar. And defender's header. He does really well to clear it. We did win it back high up the pitch again, but Lewandowski lost it. It was a poor free kick from Bayern Munich, and Neymar's in here. Whoever that is at left back has done very, very well to win it back. Neymar can't play it forward. Oxlade-Chamberlain bursting down this right hand side, waiting for strikers to run into the box. No one there, it's blocked. It's a corner in the 88th minute. El Shaarawy to whip it in. It's on the 6-yard box. Keeper didn't come, but it is headed away. And Lewandowski goes down. And that's the end of his Champions League final for Robert Lewandowski. We're going to bring Jack Grealish on up front. Alaba. Can he get the winner? He says go! Horse! Just gone wide. A weak foot strike from the former Bayern player, David Alaba. It beat Mignolet, but it also beat the post. Oh, Jack Grealish can only pick that up then. Mignolet with a poor kick. But we're through here, we've done it! Kevin De Bruyne for Manchester United has just won us the Champions League in the 95th minute. We win the ball back up high up the field. It's just one touch and just rolls it under Mignolet. Surely there's no time left for Bayern Munich to pull this back. Kevin De Bruyne scores for Manchester United. Looks nothing like him. But there you go, 94th minute. And surely that is it. Surely we have won the Champions League. Bayern get us underway again. They pass it round twice. Neymar can't nick it. De Bruyne with a tackle. Verratti with a tackle. And we have done it. That's our second Champions League of this rebuild. A Kevin De Bruyne winner in the final few seconds of the game. It's Matteo De Sciglio who is going to be lifting the trophy for Manchester United. Our second Champions League of this rebuild is won against Bayern in the Allianz Arena. So Season 8 saw us win the Premier League, the Community Shield, the FA Cup and the Champions League. A quadruple for the Red Devils. Let's move on to Season 9, the penultimate season of this rebuild, and hopefully we can win a third Champions League within these last two seasons. The 21-22 season saw Dan James leave. He was the most expensive transfer out of Manchester United, going to Leeds for just under 30 million euros. Coming into the squad saw three huge signings. The first one being Jadon Sancho, who was also the most expensive. The second one being Rafael Varane, who we've already got in the squad. And the third was the return of Cristiano Ronaldo. Now, with the squad looking like it is, I think there's no one that we can really bring in. We're bringing one, maybe two backup players. At the moment, we only have Lewandowski and Neymar as our strikers. We haven't got a striker on the bench. So we're going to bring in a backup striker. And that striker is going to be Harry Kane from Tottenham, a 27-year-old that cost us £10 million. He's going to be the backup to Lewandowski and Neymar. 21-22 saw Man United losing the FA Cup 4th round to Middlesbrough on penalties. They lost in the last 16 to Atletico Madrid in the Champions League. They lost 1-0 to West Ham in the 3rd round of the EFL Cup. And they finished 6th in the Premier League. Another Premier League, that's 8 out of 9 now. We also win the Community Shield again. We lose in the final to Arsenal of the FA Cup, but we beat them in the Capital One Cup. We win the Super Cup against Udinese. We beat them 4-0. Have we made the Champions League final? We have indeed, and it's Bayern again. They're going to be looking for a revenge. We're going to be looking to keep it and go back-to-back in the Champions League. So it's Bayern Munich again in the Champions League final. Verratti picking up an early yellow for United. And El Shaarawy getting a goal in the 13th minute to put us 1-0 up again. It didn't take us 90 minutes. It took us 34 to score 2. We are 2-0 up into the second half. 3-0 in the 66th. We are going to be back-to-back Champions League winners with a 4-0 win over Bayern Munich. Another 4 trophies for us this season. Let's head into our final season, Season 10. So the 2022-23 season saw the new era of Erik ten Hag coming over from Ajax to Manchester United as manager. Along with him, he brought Antony, the right winger. Along with Antony came Lisandro Martinez as well, the centre-back. And Casemiro joined from Real Madrid. Leaving the squad saw some young players, the likes of James Garner, Andreas Pereira and Tahith Chong, all go in for less than £10 million. They finished 3rd in the Premier League, losing in the FA Cup final to Man City, winning the Carabao Cup against Newcastle and having no European football. And our final season doesn't see us win the Premier League. We actually finished 3rd, 5 points off the winners Chelsea, but have we won any other trophies? Community Shield, we lose in the final to Arsenal 2-0. Arsenal also win the FA Cup, that's 2 trophies for them this season. We lose to Newcastle in the semis, but we do win the Capital One Cup 3-0 against Wigan. We did win the Super Cup, but have we got to that all-important Champions League final? We have. We face Barcelona again in the Champions League final. So no El Shaarawy, he left in January. No Neymar or Umtiti due to injury. And no Harry Kane, who is also injured. So Zaha and Lewandowski are both starting up front. We face Barcelona again. And we go 1-0 down early on. But Zaha pulls it back. 1-0 after 16 minutes. Half time, it's still 1-1. Going into the second half now. An hour gone. Messi comes off. And Zaha gets a double. And we beat Barcelona again. So 10 seasons in this rebuild are finally over. And what a team we have built. We have won 8 Premier League titles in the last 10 years. Along with 4 Capital One Cups, 2 Super Cups, 3 Community Shields, 2 FA Cups and 3 Champions Leagues. We truly have built Manchester United back to the club that it was in the late 90s and early 2000s. And that is the end of the rebuild. If you enjoyed this video, please do leave a like. There's going to be more videos like this and maybe even some on other FIFAs in the future. Hit the subscribe button so you don't miss a video. Thank you so much for watching the part 1 and part 2. If we can get more views on this one than we did in part 1, I'd be truly astonished. Leave comments down below with teams that you want me to rebuild, and I'll catch you in the next one.